You're going to tell me you didn't think that book was funny? You're lying. You're lying.
It was okay, but it wasn't. It's kind of like, are you going to write a book about being funny, or are you going to try and write a book about a biography, or which is it, one or the other? It's like
okay, you know it's a funny book. You're lying, dude.
But it's,
you're lying.
I think you ought to just quit trying to act like you're a literary giant and just stick to comedy. Do a CD or something.
I actually have. Thanks for the plug, Dan. I have a CD on iTunes. 2 of them actually.
Like the one thing about hunting, that was probably like George Carlin material, like on the hunting, thing where hunting is not a sport. No, fishing is not a sport.
Yes.
See, that was so funny that should be on a CD or something.
Well, that was already burned on television, but I'm glad you watched my Leno when I did that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, it was great. Well, I've heard it repeated on the weekends, and
yes.
Yeah, it's just fucking great. I mean, stuff
Thank
like
you.
that.
But again, why don't we just be honest with each other, and you're just trying to be insulting, because you can't say someone's trying to be an author when they write 2 best-selling books. You're not trying to be an author. I'm an author that you may not enjoy.
How many people bought, though? How many did you sell?
I hit number 11 on the Times bestseller list. Number 11 on the New York Times bestseller list with my second book, because it came out on Election Day of 2008. Number 4 on the bestseller list for the first book.
No, I mean, how many copies?
I honestly have no idea. I have no idea how the book world works.
See, that kind of determines a little bit.
No, I think the
bestseller list. Yeah,
stop.
You can't really argue that, my friend.
You know that
the books were very successful, Dan.
and he knows that.
Very successful.
Well, I know. A lot of people buy them out of loyalty. Probably.
Their motives don't, Dan. Their motives are irrelevant. Their motives are irrelevant. The fact is that you can't do this when you're pinned in an argument on something. You can't just keep trying to find another shitty angle. Don't try to be an author. Well, I've written 2 bestsellers. How many copies? Well, I don't know how the book world works. Yeah. I honestly have never asked. I just know where they were on the list.
And following your logic, I mean, a lot of people bought Palin's books because they were just fans, right?
Yeah.
Well, I just don't.
So what are you talking about?
Why are you talking about books anyway?
Yeah.
That's way out of your league.
Exactly. You wouldn't know one if you saw one. Yeah. And I actually don't consider myself.
What are you using to chalk up your tires?
For my whole life, you just read
the bottom line is this. I wrote a book, and you went out and bought it. Good. Thanks.
But I think your fans are just going to buy them just out of loyalty regardless, and they're not going to be honest with you.
Really? The fans aren't going to be honest?
Yeah,
are you fucking nuts?
$10.95.
I don't think they're going to be honest with you and say,
no, of course not.
Just get away from the book selling and stick with a comedy like CD or something.
Why don't you put the phone down and pick up a tire pressure gauge?
You bought one. I'm pretty sure you probably bought the second one, but I'm glad you enjoyed the first one. Well, you may have had problems with it because it was very sexually open, and maybe a little jealous that I fucking went out and did a lot of dirty things. I was okay talking about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing about you and Anthony, I can assure you, that I would ever be jealous.
You're just obsessed about Jill Nicolini. You're lying. You're fucking lying.
You would have liked Jill.
You're perverted,
right?
twisted little dorks.
You would have liked Jill, right?
Right? On the show.
Ron, you would have liked Jill, right?
Lying,
You said Jill was attractive and a strong woman, so you would have liked Jill, right?
Yeah. I have a lot of respect for women.
I fucked her!
And you won't admit, this is how dumb you are, you won't admit that you have a sexual thing for Sarah Palin. So her appearance actually makes you more connected to her.
I never thought about it.
You're lying, dude. You're fucking lying.
Like you guys do, and
you're lying.
I don't think about her like.
You're lying. Why did you just mention Jill Nicolini? No one was talking about Jill.
Yeah.
But you go with Anthony's ex.
You're all, your relationships with women, therefore, thus leading you down. I think this path of of Anthony not really having a lot of respect or esteem for Sarah Palin and her. And considering their political views are pretty much identical.
Oh.
No, they're not.
That only leads me to think that he has problems.
Wow, you are way off base.
Well, how about the fact that you would mention Jill? Thank you. There you go. Now you learn to listen. This is how we teach someone who just keeps babbling. This is how you were taught when you were a little child. You were slapped, and now we turn the blame down. This is what would lead me to believe that you have a thing for Sarah Palin, because when talking about Anthony, you mentioned Jill, a strong, attractive woman. Well, you're obsessed with Sarah Palin, who's a strong, attractive woman. Mm-hmm. So I'll take your same dog shit logic, and that's what would lead me to believe that you have a thing. No one can hear a word you say, cunt. That's what would lead me to believe that you like Sarah Palin. Yeah. Not respect for her values, not respect for her intellect, because she's not really that bright. She's not a retard. but she's not bright enough to run the country. I think she gets beat up too much by the media. I think they attack her because she's an easy target, and I think they way too much attack her. And I think that she should have. I'm sorry, was I done talking? Again, dude, I'm not an actor in your play. I'm a real fucking person. I have a real thought process, and I've listened to you babble.
And you haven't been just like ranting on. I mean, come on.
No, I've been going back and forth with you.
Trying to.
I've been going back and forth.
Exchanging ideas.
Listen, Dan,
you're not exchanging ideas. You're trying to get all your points in because you see exactly. There you go.
You want to criticize me.
You were doing the same thing when we started. We listened to you start. You made an accusation. I went to address the accusation as incorrect, and you just right there. You just go. You started babbling over. That's what you do, Dan.
Dan.
You're wrong in your interpretation. I mean,
All right. You said that many times. Dan, now you got to deal with Texas. Richard in Texas, another trucker. You got the truckers fired up. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, I just want to say that I haven't been doing this very long, but I've noticed there's 3 types of truckers out there. There's old road dogs, the guys have been doing it forever. They're easygoing, great people. There's the young guys like me, don't know what the hell we're doing. Look up to those old road dogs because they'll help us out. These are the best people in America. These are true Americans, help you out. I have many a times been short on money and had one of these guys buy me a meal. And then you've got these arrogant jackasses like this guy that just bump their gums and run off their mouth, and then they're the ones that give us a bad name. We're good people. We are the red blood cells of this country. Without truckers, you don't eat. You don't get groceries. You don't get your fancy electronics. Your iPhone.
You don't get crappy phone calls.
Sir, I don't associate Dan with most truckers, to be honest with you.
No.
He's just like one of these babbling, pontificating jerk-offs. But I don't actually think most truckers are like that.
You see him at like every party or event or something. This guy that comes up and just rambles on like that.
Anthony pegged you completely when he said you're not as smart as you think you are. You're a guy who holds a lot of conversation. Desperate to be heard. Listen to me. I want to be heard. Hope my cell service don't. I bet you pulled over to talk on the phone. Attention whore. Did you pull over to listen on the talk on the side of the road? You pulled over to talk. Somebody needs attention.
Oh, he needs so much attention.
Somebody is very, very lonely.
Aww.
Somebody is very lonely in a string of jobs that has not satisfied his intellect.
Probably right now.
For somebody so smart, Dan, you don't have jobs that challenge your intellect.
Yeah.
For such a bright guy.
Look, I just got through trying to tell you already what I've done.
I've already known what you've done. You were a steam fitter, which is a great job.
Steam fitter.
And you were a trucker, which is a great job.
And you worked selling non-prescription glasses at the drugstore. I was optometrist.
You're not an optometrist.
You sold reading glasses at CVS.
That's opticianry, dumbass.
You're lying.
The difference between the two.
You're not an optometrist.
I've got a 2-year degree in optics.
No, you don't.
A 2-year degree in optician. What?
You want me to run a photocopy of my?
Yes, I do.
A photocopy.
Yes.
I expect a fucking apology from your pathetic little ass.
You'll get no apology because I don't believe it'll be real. You're not going to send it. You're not going to. Oh, God. Is that what a man does? He apologizes when he's wrong? No, he doesn't. A man just drives a truck and babbles over everybody who tries to talk.
Did Apex Tech give you free eye tools with your diploma?
Send it in, bitch. Send it. Yeah. Send in. When?
Spelling bees. I could beat anybody with your company.
Spelling bee.
Spelling bee.
No, you didn't just say that. A spelling bee.
Why would we want to have a spelling bee?
Wow. How do you spell fat wife at home?
I was kind of nerdy growing up.
How do you spell does it live up to his potential? How's that 155 IQ? You're fucking lying. You're a fucking liar.
Well, just go ahead and ask me. I can spell any word that would be in.
How do you spell jerk off? D-A-N.
You
stink.
limited, you couldn't question me.
From the guy that said pea brain 8 times.
Hold on, let me talk about the limited vocabulary guy. I've written 2 books and have made my living talking for.
Check, you dumb.
And I've made turn him down. No, I've made my living talking for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I talk on the radio for a living. You fucking fitted pipes and drive a truck, and you're criticizing people's vocabulary.
Yeah, that's right, you dumbass. I can
pea brain.
Anybody with your company.
Dumbass.
I'm probably
Go
one
get
of the
Rich Voss.
sellers of like 90.
So you
Go, Rich
understand that spelling is something like an idiot savant can do and know nothing else but spelling? Do you know spelling is not an indicator of intelligence?
Well, let's give him
Do you
memory.
understand that?
It's memory.
Let's
Do you
give him a word.
understand that?
Let's give him a word.
Game, and it takes strategy and intellect to play chess. And I guarantee you, I could beat the pants.
Chess
off
has nothing to do with
anybody
spelling,
with your
though.
company. That's right. I'm not just limited in spelling, dumbass.
Oh,